So, you know, they had a substantial figure, okay? I'm not going to say the amount, but it was a lot of money.
Yeah. Did you tell them about your friend?
They said they'd been to your website. They did not really particularly care. They weren't fond of your videos. So I turned them down. I said, you know, if you can, I'll tell you what you can do.
Oh, you used a double.
No. Well, that was one of the first. First, I said, "Can you do some sort of trick photography?"
Yeah, yeah.
And they said no. So then I said, "Can you rewrite the script? Can you do it like a couple of modifications to the script? I mean, there's little subtle things you can do. Like, you know, no one ever got, you know what I mean? Like in I Love Lucy, I don't think they touch ever.
Yeah.
Do what Ozzy and Harriet? What's her name? Lucy and Desi. Do they ever touch? I don't think they ever touch. They're like, you see them in the bedroom together, but they're like, you know, sitting on separate beds. Right. You know what I mean? Like, they're very firm. It was like, if you can do it like I Love Lucy, you know, I don't have a problem with this.
What about a really good tranny?
Okay, so they, you know, they went back for the rewrite. So meanwhile, I asked my rabbi, what's so funny? I told him the whole story, you know, because I always communicate with my rabbi, right? And he wrote back, and, you know, I told him how much money...
I never tell my rabbis anything.
I tell my rabbi everything. I don't make a move without telling my rabbi. So I told him the whole story, and I said, this is what happened, and then, you know, they you know, I told them to rewrite.
They gave you a header to touch the woman?
Well, I wasn't looking for a header because I knew there was no such thing. Okay, I knew there wasn't going to be a header to touch the woman, but I wanted to tell him, you know, this is the amount of money that was offered in front of me. You know, my financial situation. And I just turned that on. I'm the biggest fucking idiot on the planet, or I'm like the biggest addict, right? And
Bye-bye.
Yeah, you could be both, I suppose. And I also asked him, if they come back with a rewrite, where is, like, what can I and can I not do here? You know, like, what, you know, like, where's the line in the sand? You know what I mean? What can I not do? Like, you know, because like, they're gonna want something, you know. Yeah. They're gonna want me naked, let's say, or they're gonna want, you know what I'm saying? Right. And so I wanted to know, so just so I'm ready for them on the phone when they call, and they said, look, we've compromised, you know, we're like the debt deal, you know, we've gone like a certain distance. What can you do, you know? So I want to know, how far can I push the envelope? So, you know, I was talking to him about it, and what he got back to me was that he said, quote unquote, I did a monster mitzvah. Because everyone in their life will, at some point in time, will be tested. Right. You'll be tested, lady.
I think I got sucked into sin a few times.
and this was clearly one of the biggest tests I've ever had. You know, because this was a lot of money. You know, it was a chance to be on a show, but all it meant, you know,
I had to desecrate the Torah to do it.
Yeah, you know, I had to touch a woman. So.
Where do you touch her?
It's not important.
Yeah, so pretty much the same.
I don't want to. I have it. Like, I don't want to tell everybody the script. But so he said it was a monster mitzvah because it was a test. Like I had. Everybody has their test. I had my test and I passed it. So I was real proud of myself last week because I turned this thing down, and then the reward came. You know, when the cup gets filled, it overfloweth. Mm-hmm. Because this happened so fast, it was unbelievable. See, there's a woman who I want to date. You know about her, right? And she lives overseas. Mm-hmm. And she was getting very nervous that she could not get to LA because she needs to have a job here. It's complicated. Right. She needs to have a job. And like as time was going on, we were getting nervous that she just can't get a job here. Mm-hmm. And like this call, I think, came in on Tuesday. Mm-hmm. And you know, I told him Tuesday afternoon, right before I went surfing, I told him you're gonna have to rewrite the script. And you know, and I didn't hear back from them, or whatever. And then it was apparent that I turned down the job. Yeah. And I told her, you know, I lost the money. Yeah. You know, the money's not going to happen, you know. Yeah. And she was very proud of me for turning it down. And about an hour later, she got a job. It was like an hour later or something, like a couple hours later, she said she just got a job in L.A. and now she's on her way out here.
What about a tranny though?
Well,
like if the woman looks, if it's a man but looks just like a woman, sounds like a woman, dresses like a woman, like a really realistic, like a really realistic woman, but it's a guy. He's got a penis.
Okay.
You know, some breast implants, but still fundamentally there's the schmeckler.
This
and you
guy.
can even make sure that they show it.
Who is Blev Dechamp?
How do I turn on? I'll turn on the allow links. So don't worry about that. So
who's Blev Dechamp? I want to know who you are. So that's basically the story on that. So she's coming, and then they called me back.
Mm-hmm.
They did call me back,
Mm-hmm.
like after all that.
Mm-hmm.
And Larry said he has got to have me on the show, and they rewrote the script, and now I'm back in.
Do you have to eat a bacon cheeseburger? But would you object if you were like touching a tranny? Like the tranny had a penis?
No. I'm luckily allowed to do that.
Even
because that's a guy.
Even if it's a guy wearing a woman's clothing. And
Yeah, that would be okay.
Okay, well you could always suggest that.
Except that the woman is like a regular on the show. It's like, it's the... Alright, whatever. They have to, like, she had to be a stand-in double.
Right.
So, and they don't do trick photography because I asked them something like that. Can you do some sort of magic to make it so, plus, it's also, even if we did something like that, it's how the viewers look.
Oh, yeah. What's that expression?
Morisian.
Morisian.
It looks terrible.
Yeah, it looks terrible.
See, this is the difference between me and you, right? Levy touches someone, right? They're not going to have such a fit because it's just Levy Ford, right? But Rabbi Rab's touches, it blows my whole act.
Yeah.
Because I've always prided myself that I don't go down to Matas Yahoo levels and start touching the women in the audience and all this stuff, right?
Yeah.
I'm above the fray, I'm above all that, I hold to a higher level, a higher standard.
But you'd be totally willing to cuss.
Oh yeah, I don't have a problem with that because that's not a big deal.
Yeah, so you could play the Tourette's rabbi.
No, I saw that episode. No, that was in the first season.
I haven't seen it.
That was like 11 years ago or something. So who is Blev?
Is Ben from Queens? You know Ben from Queens.
Is that who Blev? Ben from
Ben from Queens.
Ben from Queens. Do I know you? I don't know. I don't know you, Ben from Queens. Do you know Ben from Queens?
I don't care about that. I wanted to keep the show focused.
Okay, so that's what's happening on that. So I'm going in tomorrow morning. I'm meeting with Larry tomorrow morning.
Awesome.
And we're going to work out the new script and everything, and start, rehearsing.
All right.
And if it works out, if we're both happy with it, because whatever, then the filming I guess is the following week. And that's the story of that.
Oh, this is awesome. Way to go. So we had a suicide on Friday, just down the street from me. Like some guy, wonder why.
It wasn't me. That was the real news
I
story.
thought it was like,
No, you knew it wasn't me because the guy was driving a fancy car.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why would a guy choose Pickford and Sherborne?
I can come up with many reasons. Maybe his ex-girlfriend.
Yeah, that's what I figured there.
Or ex-wife.
Ex-wife, yeah.
Do you know who he was?
No,
or
I
anything?
don't.
Yeah, my first thing would be his ex-wife.
Yeah.
Like, he was going to go kill himself anyways, and he
Yeah.
wanted to just go say fuck you to her one last time.
Yeah.
Or, look what you made me do, you
Yeah.
know, you bitch. You took all my money except for my Mercedes. Or maybe it's his girlfriend, and he went over there to talk to her, and he caught her in bed with some guy. Maybe you.
Yeah.
You ran back here in your bare feet.
Yeah, I grabbed my camera.
And what were you doing down there with your camera? What was that about?
I was making a movie with his ex-wife.
So, I figured it's one of those two things. Either he went over to visit his girlfriend, and whatever, he got in a fight with her that precipitated and killed himself, or he was planning to kill himself, but he wanted to go fuck you to his ex-wife. So that was my first two impressions, but there's a woman who lives right there that has a lot of explaining to do.
Maybe he wanted his last meal to be a chocolate